Hi guys, I'm Asif Ali and you're watching CGHOW video. Today I create this very simple AOE effect, solar AOE effect actually. And I use the concept art. I'll put the link in my description. And if you haven't subscribed my YouTube channel yet, please subscribe it. If you like this tutorial, like, share and comment and let's start this.
CGHOW. CGHOW.
First of all, subscribe my YouTube channel and also click on bell icon so you will receive all new video notification. So this is the reference I found on here Pinterest, but you can see this is the artist station link. So you can also check the artist link and you can follow him or check the other work, Buku. And I'll put the link in my description so you can go through that. And in this concept art, this really beautiful concept art, I'll just create this one, this AOE solar system effect. Maybe in future we can create other parts of it. So this is really looks beautiful. So let's start to create this in UE5 Niagara. So I will I'll create a folder AOE. Let's call just solar AOE solar. Okay, and these you can use sphere and you can also use a sprite if you want, but in my case maybe I'll just use a sphere. So first of all, if I zoom on this image, only this, we need a ring here. Okay, so let's create the ring. And to create ring, we have lots of ways I have already described in my previous tutorial. So let's create again M ring. And because this ring is very sharp, we don't have any variation of ring. So I'll just use a method where we can just use that sharp. So I'll just take a radial and then again copy and paste. And then let's make the density little high, not little, very high, maybe 5 or maybe 50. And then let's make this, let's make a dynamic parameter. So it has some density, sorry, the radius, it has some radius, and this should be smaller than this. So I'll subtract something from the radius of the first one, and then that will be the radius of this, and this will be the difference. So this will be the thickness, and then because this is bigger, so I will subtract from bigger my smaller. And if I'll visualize here, let's say you have 0.5 radius and thickness 0.1, so you will have this output. Okay, and then just take the particle color, and you can actually make the density also a parameter if you want, so you can tweak something there. So this is density, default value should be like 50, or and particle color, yeah, I have already connected here. Then this will be your opacity. You can also use mask if you just need the sharp one. If you want to use slightly blurry, you can use translucent and just hit save. So in this we have this ring, then we have this ring, and we have small rings there also. We can use the same thing. So let's create a material, not material again. Let's create a Niagara. Call it FX. Okay. And let's create a label. And like this background, let's just take a gray background. So for that, take exponent right fog and just take the grayish color and just make this zero, almost zero. Then in FX, this is my ring, and I'll use that ring material and delete these all, and that ring should be there forever. So I will just use spawn burst Just one particle and only spawn at once, then life should be infinite. And I don't need all these. And then turn off the mask and make the radius uniform, maybe 100. So you have this, then you can take the dynamic parameter. Let's make the density 50 again. And radius 0.5, thickness 0.1. So you have this. And with the thickness, you can decide that thickness. And with the radius, you can scale it down or you can cut it like this to 0.5. And then density, you can make it slightly blurry if you want. So for now, let's use this 50. Then we need to align it to the ground. So you need to use custom alignment, custom facing vector, and here align to the mesh orientation, and instead of X, take the Z. So you got this. And then with the gap, we have again a ring. So you can do that with a single emitter. So you can use now two particles. They are overlapping each other. So in the scale, in the size of this, you can add, then you can multiply with execution index. So if you add 100 and then if you tweak this, you can have this gap, and I will just make this 0.01. I think that's enough. 0.005. Yeah, I can make it even sharper. Maybe, yeah, cool. So, and I'll make it local. So we have these rings. Now we need two small rings here. So again, copy it, Control D or Control C and V. You can do copy and paste. So in this one, let's make these smaller like this. Actually, this should be the size should be same for both. So let's make it 50, 20, and then I'll increase this 0.1, 0.05. And then in both we need a offset. So for offset, you can use position, but you can also use like shape location if you want. So if I take the shape location and I take the ring, and in ring, this is the radius, and in the random, I'll use a direct, and you can just use A or B, and you can use 0 and zero point 0.5. So you can see both, and now you can decrease the radius like this. Got it? So you have this now, and this should be a little smaller, so maybe 15, and then radius maybe 55, 50, sorry, 57. Yeah, okay. Now after that, we have this gray thing in between. So for that, you can again copy this ring, and this time I'll just use the 1. So the size will be like 100 and I have just 1, and the color is like grayish. I can increase the alpha if I want. And then here I will increase the thickness, and then if you see I have this, and then I can increase the size to fit it here, and then we can decrease the thickness to 0.1, 0.09, 0.08, and then decrease the size to 120. Yeah, almost there. Yeah. And then the shorting. So this is will be the background. So this will be 0. Then this one will be shorting 1. And then these two rings, small two rings will be shorting 2. There is some issue there, but we will check that. So let me check. Yeah, everything looks fine. Let's save this. Okay. So after this, we have this, this dark blue inside it. And you can again use, so this is my ring gray. This is my small rings, small side ring, and these will be my rings. So I'll again copy and paste this gray, and this time you can actually take a radial, but we have this, so I'll use it again. So this time thickness, I will just use 0 and actually 0.49, 0.49, almost there. Or if I make it 0.5, yeah, it will work. And we can use the blue color. I will decrease the size so it will fit there. So we got this till now, and these two are little purplish and bright. So let's make them little purplish and little bright. Okay, and these two also. We are not copying it 100%. We can do our own stuff there. Okay, so after this, we have actually those small rings are 4. You can see the cylinder here also. I just noticed because this text is here. So we have these 4. So in the small side rings, I'll just make it 4, and in the location instead of this, let's just use execution index and turn this off. So there will be 4, and yeah, 60. Okay, so you got the 4. Now we need that cylinder which have slightly Fresnel than this orange to bluish gradient. I have already cylinder, but if you don't have, you can just like make a cylinder here and just make it little smoother if you want, and then you can delete the top and bottom and move it up here. So pivot will be on the ground, then you can normalize the UVs so it will fit the box, and then you can just export that. I'm just calling it CYL cylinder short form, and let's import that, and let's save all because in the previous tutorial I had to create my Hall effect again because Unreal crashed and these files were not saved, unsaved files. So I have this cylinder and it has this Lambert. Let's make it material M. So let's call it M cylinder. Okay, so I will use that cylinder to preview. So first we have a gradient from orange to purplish, and you can use 2 colors here if you want. And first you need a gradient. So let's take a gradient. So if I preview this, we have that gradient. We can use now lerp, and we can use 2 colors. One is almost like this, and then this will be like orangish. Let's preview this. Okay, so we got that, and we can use power node here because this should be like here, the blue one, half of that should cover. So if I decrease it to 0.5 or maybe 0.1 or 0.2, 0.5, yeah, it is almost there. So we got that, and this is also fading from the top, so that means this should be slightly down, so I'll make it 0.4 because my orange will fade from the top also. So this will go to emissive for now, and we have this gradient. If I preview this, this can go directly to the opacity, and we can use it as translucent, unlit. We got this. And then there should be a Fresnel, so I'll use the Fresnel function. And if I preview this, you can see that, and if I use the power and increase like 5, we will have almost the edges, and these edges should be like bright purple color, so you can multiply this with this and then can actually add this to the main colors. So if you'll see, we will have Fresnel and we have this, and now we don't need particle color here because everything we have done here. So I'll just save this and I'll browse this, and in my FX, let's duplicate this small rings, copy and paste, and this is my four cylinders, and I'll remove that, take a mesh, and we need this mesh, and then we need this material, and save it. And because we duplicated this, so we have already this location with execution index. So four cylinders are on the place. You just need to make the scale. If I just make it uniform and increase the size, you can see. So the radius we need is 7.7, and then we need height. So we can use this non-uniform, and then 7.7, 7.7, and we can increase the height higher. And this should be above all things, and slightly scale down. I will make maybe 7 and 7, or maybe 5 5. Got it? And now these four have some different sizes, so you can randomize size, and if you don't want randomize every time, you can do one thing. So like this is 5 5 and this is 50. You can use this, make these 5 5 5, and make this like 40 and 80. So there is size difference, but every time I'll play, there will be different size. And if you don't want that, you can go to properties and use determinism. So it will take the same size. And if you want that seed, you can use different seed like this one. And this one look quite similar like this. There is smaller, two and two longer, two smaller, two longer. So I will go with this. Okay, and let's save all and let's check other elements. So uh, after these, we have a big sphere here. Then there's a Fresnel type thing. We have rings, and these like a planet thing. So let's create that. So let's create a material M sphere. And in these spheres, we have little dark edges here, and then we have Fresnel. And open this, and these have little dark edges. So you can actually take a Fresnel and this one, or maybe other one, Fresnel function. And if you want just like edges, you can multiply this and take a floor. And if I preview and make it like 10, you will have these edges. And with that, you can set the thickness. So these edges should be dark and the rest part is blue. So what I'll do, I'll take a particle color and this is opaque, let's say unlit, or not unlit, let's say default. So that black part should be particle color. So first I'll saturate this. So value should be under control. And after saturating, I'll use a LURP. And in the black, I'll use the particle color. And in the white, I'll make it actually the same particle color but low value. And I will control that through dynamic parameter. So this is my edge color brightness. You can say edge boost. And then we will have the edge thickness. Save it quickly. I'll browse this and my FX, I'll duplicate this. Control D. This will be my big sphere. And I'll just use a sphere mesh here. Like this one. And use that material here. I just need one and I don't need this thing. I'll just delete this shape location. Let it compile and I'll isolate this, let it compile. Because of the size, so let's make it uniform. And let's say you have this big and I want to use that dark color. Let's say this is one and this is very dark. And then in the dynamic parameter, we have this edge boost and edge thickness. Let's say this is 2 and this is I'm boosting. But I want edge to be darker and that's not visible actually. So this is the, I'll make it 0. Yeah, we can see that, but because of this is not unlit, that's actually overriding. So let's make this unlit. Save it. Now you can see that, and it is actually too much dark. Let's say you have this, and then we can decide the thickness. We can make it bright or like this, or maybe this is black for now. And now we will decrease the size to maybe 5, 2, and see how big is this. Oh, here 2, 1, or maybe 0.5. Yeah, 0.5 is okay. And here in the position of set, I'll move it little up. So it is there. Yeah, perfect. Then we have this glow. So what we can do actually, we can actually use the same again, Control D. And in this one, let's isolate it first and then use that bright orangish color. And why you have two dynamic parameters? And you can bright this up from here or from color where you want, and then make it slightly smaller, maybe 0.48 or maybe 9. So it will be under that, but you can now offset it little bit, maybe on Y. So there is issue, you can see that. We will fix that. So this is just on the edge. So what I'll do, I'll duplicate my material, Control D. I have the hemisphere one. And in here, I will make it translucent, unlit, and only single-sided. And I don't need these all thing. I just need particle color here. And in the opacity, I'll use two-sided sign, and if you connect it directly, it will look same, but you can reverse the value. So now we will see the under part if you make it two-sided. Let's see how it works there. So I'll use that material here, and you can see it is working cool. And you can now bright it here. It is too much, 20. And then you can decide the offset actually. This is too much. This much is enough. 50. So you got that. Yeah, it is almost there. And 0.6, 0.5, 0.52. Yeah, now it's better. So it is too much bright. Let's make it 20. Cool. So now we have these rings and we have then these planets. So I have already torus, but you can create it simply in Maya. Just take a torus, decide the radius 1 and radius 2, and smooth this up little. And that's it. Just export that to ring, actually SM ring on desktop. And I'll quickly import that here, SM ring. I will copy this big sphere and paste it here, and this will be my ring again, and material will be same, and I'll use that mesh here, this one. So if I isolate, you can see that tiny ring, and let's increase the size and see if it is good. Yeah, the thickness of that ring is, I think it's good. We can use that, or maybe you can slightly make it down. Maybe this is 0.2, 0.15, then export it again, replace and re-import, save. Yeah, now it's fine. And this should be slightly initial rotation, so I'll use none, and here on the x 0.2, 0.1, 0.05. Yeah, that's it. And again, we need two rings, so we can do that with the same, or you can duplicate this if you want, and then just scale it down a little bit like this. Then we need some rotating spheres on that, so I'll duplicate this big sphere again and call it like two spheres, and then first I'll make the size down 0.2, and then I will take the torus, actually shape location. Actually we need that rotating, so we don't need shape location now. I'll take rotate, rotate, where it is. Oh, it is under there. Actually, I am searching rotate around axis. Yeah, around point. If I isolate this, why it's not visible? Oh, it is there because we had also offset. So first, after taking this, I'll just move it up, like we need 200. It is there. Size maybe 0.2. And rotation radius maybe 100 for now. So, and if I make the rotation rate 1, it will start rotating and see where we need it. So first of all, the radius is too high, and that we can control like this. But then because our rings are slightly tilted and these are rotated on X, so here we can slightly take the X value, I think. Let me check. So it's going here and they should be down here. So if I make it 0.05 point, let me check the rotation of my ring. It is 0.05. So it should work. Yeah, 0.05, 0.1. Yeah, it's going now on the ring as you can see. Yeah, perfect. But these are like 1 and we have particle rate now 2. So in here we have phase. We can use execution index here and just turn this off. We will have 2 and these are rotating. We can decrease the speed like this and then we can duplicate it, Control D, and we can use that other material sphere 2 that we sphere 1 that we created for the glow and just increase the size maybe 0.3 and make it glow 2 and decrease the size maybe 0.2 1 or maybe 0.23. I'll make it like 1 or make it 0.2. So you got it. And now we have one more here in the second one. So I'll again duplicate this and just this is a sphere. And in this one we just want 1 and here we don't need this. And the radius should be little low, maybe 40. 50, 55. Yeah, cool. Then again duplicate it, Control D, and we will use that other material, this one, to make it dark, and we will also make it 0.2 and make this color dark like this. And this will be smaller, so let's change the size 0.15 and make this 0.17. And also rotation rate, I'll make it zero point 0.3 and also this 0.3, so it will be faster. So now next part, we have this center glow, this like a beam glow. So for that, I'll just duplicate this, copy and paste, call it aura, and delete this and take a radial. Actually, take a sprite, then take a additive radial like this, and we need to align and on custom axis, and we don't need these. Make the size maybe 100 to 200, color maybe little bright. You can see that. Now we need to stretch that. I'll just turn this off. Actually, we don't need to custom align it. We can just stretch that on X. Like this is 100, we can make it 500. Actually, even Y. Like this. I will make 300 maybe and just move it down. Tone rate is 1 and this can decrease it little. So we have that glow. After that we have these flash that is here. So I will duplicate this two sphere, copy. This is two sphere rotating. Copy and paste it here. Control C and D. Yeah. So this is to flash or glare, flare. So I'll delete this and take a sprite, and here we need flash material. Actually, this type of glare, this can work. Yeah, this can work. So I'll use that here, and I'll increase the size just to check if these are visible, and these are not visible. Yeah, visible. And the color should be like this, bright 10. And you can see these are rotating with my sphere, and that's look cool although. But and I don't need random rotation. They should be straight like this. And then we can use camera offset, and then we can use like 10 or 20. This will start showing, and then we need little offset. So in the pivot, if I make it 0, you can see there's the offset. So I'll make it 0.4, slightly right, and then make the scale down and slightly more, maybe 0.3. And you can make them bright even more, maybe 50. Cool. Then actually we have lots of things here, but I will not cover all the things, but you got the idea. We have some particles here also. So that aura I will duplicate, copy and paste, and I will actually make the size first random, maybe 10 and 1, and then we need shape location, slender, maybe 200, 50, and I'll just make them bright. So I'll use this little variation also in color, and then range maybe 10. So some are bright, and then location we can decrease the width, the radius, and also the size. So 0.1 and 5 to 5. So life is infinite for this also. So what I'll do, I want little motion there, so I will use curl noise, maybe 100, and animate this. And then these will move and just keep going. So what I'll use spring. So they should come back to the original position, make it position, then connect it with the initial position and reduce the spring tightness in this, and then reduce this also. They will move little bit, but then they will come back to the same position. So there is a motion also. And next thing, we have also these rocks type thing, and there's a sphere here also, and there's a flash also here, and there's also these lines. But let it be, and actually this looks simple, cool. Actually, this video is already very long. I don't want to add more stuff there. Let's make it look cool, even cooler. It is already look good. So we can add post, and in the post make it infinite, then make it use the image effects. Then you can use bloom if you want, like this. And in the color grading, I will saturate it a little bit. Yeah. And that gray is not very gray, so let's make it grading this one even more darker, so it will be visible here. Actually, this is too much. It should be like, yeah, it is visible now. And the Fresnel here is not very much visible. So in the slender material, you have this Fresnel. You can actually multiply this Fresnel like with 5 and just use it. Now it is visible. And in the center, it is very empty, like there is a sphere. And you can actually do that very quickly, but what I want here is actually, let's duplicate this last emitter, copy and paste, and let's increase the it is increase the spawn rate and like 500, and then we can make the height almost 0, like 1, and then make this little high, and in the offset make it down. Actually there's offset here, let's make it 0. So you have something there, and you can use the vortex velocity. And now I don't need a spring, so there's a vortex that rotating them like this, and I'll make them even smaller with 2, and these are rotating. And also I want scale color and make the float and take the sign, and you can randomize it with 1 and 2, and we'll make it 1 and 2. So now it doesn't look empty, it looks full. So I will not add more elements. I will finish the tutorial here. So that's it. I hope you liked it. If you have any query, comment below the video. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Keep learning, and bye bye.